This is Groundeffected. My name is your dad, and today I'm painting a model from Tanuki Figures. And as you know, my studio is still a mess. This is because I'm still working on the renovations of the shop, because we needed to fix it up so that I could be in a better place for printing. But I'm already at this part which you've watched me get to in the intro of this video, and I feel like we should not dilly-dally anymore and just bloody paint this thing. By the way, this model comes on a stand. It has like a cool little house that it lives on, but there is two versions of this, and there is a wall hanging one, which is the one that I'm doing. And as you can see, it has these little holes that you would usually hang things like picture frames with. But not only that, I just wanted to mention very quickly that this was sculpted by Gazoff, and the art direction and concept was by Gabriel V Art, and the render was done by Celesi 3D. I know I don't often get to say the artist names, and I'm gonna try my best to remember to add this information in, because I feel like it's important to get them the exposure that they need too. But as you can see, this thing is literally weighing down my camera, so I need to get these parts painted as soon as possible. I've worked out a concept for the theme of what I'm gonna do, but bearing in mind that everything is upside down, it's going to be a fast paint, and I'm going to do it as fast as I can in order to be able to get this video out, but at the same time to have this model to put somewhere in the shop. My thought pattern for painting this model was pretty simple really. It is not the most complicated of models, mainly because of the art style of Ghibli. It is not really complicated. I'm not going to be doing the whole shadows and what's it called, cell shading, and I'm not doing none of that, because again, my studio, it looks like a bomb has hit it, so I don't have time for any of that. But I'm gonna paint it quite simply but very effectively, and the way that I'm gonna achieve this is by focusing on not painting like a 4-year-old, basically keeping all the paint within the lines. That's the easiest way of achieving something that doesn't look like actual dog poo-poo. Just keep all the paint inside the lines. My main focus is going to be on the dragon at first, because this is the biggest part, but also I literally have nowhere to put the lady or the little girl if I don't have a dragon to attach her to. So basically I'm going to try and just attack each part as swiftly as I possibly can, because realistically there is a lot of model to this model, and it's going to require quite a lot of painting. Now of course, the next step after getting all the stomach areas done is to add the little line that goes between, and for this I just use Skeleton Horde, and it's not going to look very pretty at first. It's not really meant to look very pretty. The reality of using a wash is that it is not as controllable as you always imagine. In your head, you think it's going to just go in the crevasses very nicely, but the truth is it's going to pool up in some area and look like... Let's just move on to the thing that's going to help you distract your eye from the fact that any kind of wash looks like poo-poo most of the time, and that is to just add some highlights. So basically I'm going to take the same color that I used originally for that stomach section and add white into that to make a brighter highlight, and spray that willy-nilly over the top, and then set about painting this green, blue, green. It's green, but it's not, it's blue. It's the back of the dragon. In the back of my mind the entire time, I'm thinking about how I'm going to add an overall shadow to these parts without being confused of what is up and what is down, because they kind of curl on each other, so I really don't know which is the top and which is the bottom. But I started to glue everything together. I also snapped off one of the pegs while pushing that leg in, so but luckily this leg goes at the back, so I can literally just glue it on. If this was a load bearing part, you would want to drill it out and put some form of a pin in there, otherwise you're gonna have a bad time. Now moving on swiftly to painting the feet, I used that rubber and tires color to give it a base color, and then I came back with a brown rose to spray that over the top to create some highlights over the top of it, so that it wasn't just a flat color. And you can see this starts to really sell the effect of the 3D quality of the 3D model. those words made sense more in my head than they might have made coming out of my mouth hole. But I'm not gonna stress too much about how silly things sound, and I'm gonna just move on to explaining how I got to where I got to. And obviously I started gluing things together at this point, because I'm past the part where I need to get a brush into an awkward place. If I glued this whole thing together, there would be a lot of really awkward places to get my brush into to be able to paint the things that I need to paint. So I painted everything that needed an awkwardness to it before I glued everything together, and then I slowly started piecing together this massive dragon of Haku. Now I also want to quickly explain at this point the sponsor of this video, because this is a good time to tell you about them, and that is Tanuki Figures. Tanuki Figures is a Patreon over on Patreon, and they produce some absolutely incredible models. I have absolutely no words to explain how great they are. Genuinely, they make some of the most amazing models that I've worked on, and they fit together so incredibly well. They are just cut awesome. Just genuinely, if you are interested in making any models like the ones that I'm making on my video, then you should go and check out Tanuki in the description down below. And I'm going to be totally honest, because of all the stress of everything happening in the shop, I completely forgot to ask them if there is a coupon code, but if there is one, it will be in the description. So I don't want to mention it, because even though I did just mention it, but usually they give me one. So if there is one, it will be in the description down below. I'll speak to them and see if I can organize it before the video goes up. If not, well, I'm really sorry about that, but there is a lot going on currently. And speaking of a lot, I want to get back to painting this a lot of a model, which is going to require me painting, luckily, no eyes on this model. So in fact, if you are worried about painting eyes, this is a great model, because there is no eyes on either of the parts, not even on Chihiro herself. And it's time to actually start painting Chihiro, because I thought that I was done with Haku, but I will not be done with it, and you will have to wait to the end to see what it was that was missing. Now my next steps for painting obviously was to sand every single part, and once they were sanded, it was time to clean them up using a toothbrush that I stole from one of my kids, and then give them a bit of a layer of paint. And I'm not even gonna prime these parts, to be honest. This is mostly because I forgot to do that before I filled up my airbrush with the color that I had mixed, which is basically, literally, I just made Orcish Dermis, and I could have just used Orcish Dermis, but also Orcish Dermis is basically a precious element at this point, and we can't be using that to base coat anything. Moving on to the pants, yes, I painted the skin tones with that Orcish Dermis mix that I made up, but I am going to give it a tint, because they're not actually quite this color, but using a Carabao Crimson will make them have that pinky reddish look that they actually have in the movie. The only parts that I did actually use a primer for was actually her shirt and her shoes, which is cool, I guess. Now, moving on to the skin tones again, I put down that Orcish Dermis color at first, but I'm going to not fully cover, but quite a lot of cover with the skin tones, because this is an anime. They don't really have like a lot of gradations of colors in the skin tone, so we kind of just want the ultimate skin tone, which technically is this basic skin tone, but we want to still do a form of gradation over the top, and by layering these colors over the top of each other, it just doesn't look as flat as it would if I just painted the skin tone direct. Basically, I'm now going to paint the shoes using a desert yellow, which is yellow but not so yellow, because of course if they were too yellow it would go against everything that this model looks like. It is not meant to be highly saturated colors like I usually use. Although I did use quite saturated colors, they're not as saturated as I would normally go for, and things aren't as bright as they normally are. Now I can glue the legs and shoes together, and also I can probably glue those onto the pants as well, because all of that stuff is done, and I can put that aside to work on the rest of the model. And what's left to do is to somehow match the green of Chihiro's shirt stripes, and at first I thought this lime green would do it, but it just was not cutting it. So what I did was I added a little bit of green ink into it, which as you can see makes it a little bit greener. It's a really hard color. It's got like yellow in it, but not too much yellow. It's just, honestly, it was just a difficult color for me to figure out, and for some reason it is not a color that I can just pick off the shelf. I don't know why that is a fact, but it is in fact a fact. And also, greens I really hate, especially yellowy greens. They just don't go down very well in one coat. They at least require a couple of coats, which I'll be honest, if you're doing foliage, it's fine because being a little bit patchy is okay, but when you're doing perfect stripes on a t-shirt is annoying. It required at least 3 layers for me to get this green nice and solid green. But once it was nice and green, it was time to take some Griff Charger Grey and spray that into the shadows. I did focus mostly on the green stripes themselves because I obviously don't want to turn the entire shirt into a blue-grey color, but I do not want it to look exactly the same as the white of Haku. So hopefully this works, and it should work when I put it all together. Now moving on to her face. In most animes they have a lot of blush on their cheeks, and so I figured I would replicate this by using a bit of fluorescent magenta, and I painted that very thin and very low on the airbrush over the tops of her cheeks, and this is to create that blush. Next I painted the entire lot of her hair with black. This is probably a mistake, but we will see at the end if it was a mistake or not. I'm now going to take a little bit of Magos Purple and paint her lips, and also a couple of little lines on her cheeks. I don't know why I did that, but I did in fact do that. I then painted her eyes and stuck the hair on her forehead, and then put the head on top of the model, but I didn't call it done yet. That is because I needed to mark out where the screws were going to go in the wall, and by putting a piece of tape on the back and marking where those screws are, I'm essentially cheating and giving myself a little template. However, this is the part where I remembered that I had not even painted Haku's ear at all, so I used basic skin tone for this, just to paint that on the inside of his ears, and it didn't need any shading or anything. The next steps then was to actually add the brown to Chihiro's hair. I'm not sure why I forgot that this was a step, but I had completely forgot that this was a step. And I did in fact end up doing it because it was very important to make her hair brown and not black. And then I could put this head on the model and call this model done. And so this is the end of yet another Groundeffected video, and I want to say a massive thank you to everyone who's watched. Of course, this is a good time for you to go down below and look up the description to see where the model is. Those who are asking where these models are, it's in the description. I put nothing else but the model link in it. Please just go look in the description. While you're down there, click the like button, click subscribe, then share the video with your granny. When you're done doing that, you can maybe leave a comment of how you couldn't find the STL or something like that. And this is a good time in the video for me to say a massive thank you to my Patreons. If you are interested in behind the scenes on what's going on in the studio, what models are coming up, all the rest of that stuff, as well as palettes, color palettes, and all the rest of it, go and check out my own Patreon. And that's it pretty much for this video. And I now need to tell you the special words, which are: if you didn't like anything in this video, I don't care, and you can kindly now f*** off.